Hello, everybody. If you're new here, I'm Avi. If you're not, then you probably already know what time it is. I make a lot of art and book related videos, and today I'm back for day 3 of Bookmas. Today I'm going to be giving you guys a tour of my bookshelf. I have a bookshelf on my wall that consists of a bunch of different crates and a wooden shelf, and then I also have a smaller mini 3-level shelf. And then I also have a side table that I also have books on, so I have a bunch of things to show you today. But I'm going to try to go through them all and just tell you all the books I have without getting too deep into each book, because then this video will be longer than expected. I just want to show you my bookshelf. But yeah, let's get into it. I'll give you like a little. I'll show you a video of it before I get into it. Okay, so I'm gonna start on the bottom shelf here and work my way up because the top shelf it's actually really really tall and I need a stool to get up there. So when we get up there, I'll put my camera on the elevated tripod and I'll like go up there and show you. But for now, we'll just do the bottom shelf. So I try to genreify my bookshelf, kind of like like I have a home library. So when you go to the bookstore, when you go to the library, they got like your fiction, your romance, your fantasy, your young adult. So I like to kind of organize my bookshelf sort of similar like that because I'm just weird like that. Okay, I'm mentally ill. So we have a few different sections. Um, this first crate here that by the way, most of my bookshelves consist of these crates which I got from Home Depot, and then that's just my top shelf is just a really long piece of wood, and then my bottom bookshelf is a 3-tier shelf I got from Walmart. But yeah, in this first crate here, I have all of my classic literature books. So I have a bunch of Margaret Atwood books. I have Frankenstein by Mary Shelley. I pretty much have every Jane Austen book. You have Carmilla, Picture of Dorian Gray, Dante's Inferno, The Bell Jar, The Perks of Being a Wallflower, 1984. Let me tell you, I'm gonna spoon feed everyone this book. Animal Farm, Jane. That's also Jane Austen, and then Little Women. And yeah, so that's pretty much it for my classic section. I don't have like an overthrowing plethora of classics, but the ones I do have are sweet, and I love them so much, and they've all changed me. Like The Bell Jar. Oh my gosh, reading that one. Whoa, it was an experience. And same with The Handmaid's Tale and Pride and Prejudice, and even Frankenstein. All these books, like, just read classics. That you kind of need to have a very wide variety on your palette when you're reading books, because reading one genre of book over and over again kind of gets boring after a while. And then also when you're doing that, sometimes you don't always learn things. And like when I read books, sometimes yes, I read them to escape into fantasy worlds and just to like read about girls kissing. But also, I want to be educated and I want to learn something. I want to read a world and I want to come out changed. You know? Alright, and these next two crates are on my romance section. Originally, it was arranged by sapphic, straight, and then queer romance, but I just decided screw it. I'm gonna kind of like have it like be like color assorted, so it's like kind of color assorted. So it's like it goes white, black, red, pink, yellow, green, blue, and then green at the end because Catabasis is just so big. um, and also it doesn't fit on my fantasy shelf. But yeah, I'll go in and tell you about these little romance books. So yeah, I have a variety of all different kinds of romance. So this first book here is Nobody in Particular by Sophie Gonzalez. It's a young adult sapphic story about a princess and like your average day prep student falling in love at boarding school. Love it. I honestly no. Ever since watching Young Royals, it's honestly my favorite trope when it's like the princess falls in love with like a commoner. It's so cute and it's so sweet. I love that trope, okay? And then we have Bury Our Bones in the Midnight Soil, A Treachery of Swans, The Maiden and Her Monster, The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo, which I know, problematic author, but I did not buy this book from her. I thrifted it, so she didn't get any money from it. And it's just because like I've heard some good things, some bad things about the book, so I want to have my own personal opinion on the book itself. I do not like the author, and I do not in any way, shape, or form support her. Next we have Brood with Love. Um, It's a beautiful, sweet little sapphic, witchy romance. And then Among the Burning Flowers, I have some fantasy books on here that have heavy romance plotlines in the background because they just didn't fit on my top shelf. So sometimes, yeah, my genres intermix depending on where things fit. But yeah, we have Among the Burning Flowers, which is an, a prior in of the Orange Tree novella, Make My Wish Come True, 5 Feet Apart. Owie! Sorry, that was my cat. He's playing and he just scratched my foot. Silvercross, Romancing Mr. Bridgerton, She Gets the Girl. This is just a miscellaneous book about mushrooms that I just had to fill in the space here. Um, Some Girls Do, One Last Stop, Cleat Cute, Dungeons and Drama, which is like, I heard the concept of this book and I was like, I need to read it. It's so cute. That Summer Feeling, The Absinthe Underground, and then Never Thought I'd End Up Here, which I surprisingly have a few straight romances on here that I got recently. I was like, I don't like reading straight romances, they're not really that interesting. And then I went to my friend's house because he was like, he's moving, and so he had like a bunch of books that he was giving away, and he was like, take whatever you want. And there was like a bunch of short romances in there, and I'm like, honestly, this is like kind of intriguing. I might actually like pick it up and read it. Like Dungeons and Drama, it's like this girl like kind of falls in love with the guy through playing D&D. Like, no, that's what I need. um, but yeah, A Fire and Stars, which is a beautiful sapphic a medieval fantasy sapphic story. Oh, I read it on vacation, and I was so obsessed with it. The Song of Achilles, All the Bright Places, Wings of Starlight. Oh, I sobbed reading this book. Oh my god, everyone read Wings of Starlight, especially if you love the Tinkerbell movies, and especially if you love Clary and Mallory. This is their origin story. Oh sorry, you can't really see it. Yeah, this is their origin story. It's absolutely beautiful. Let me Clarion on the front, and then Mallory on the back. No, I read this like literally. I finished it on Valentine's Day. That book changed me. And then yeah, Catabasis by Arf Guang, because it is a romance. Okay, I know some people saying it's not a romance, but no, it's a romance. Have y'all never read a slow burn? Have y'all never read a 500,000 word fanfic where they don't even kiss till like 300k words in? Come on, guys. Okay, next we're gonna move up to the top shelf here. Oh, I have this really cute bookend here. Initially, I was gonna put it on the top shelf, but the top shelf doesn't have enough room, so it goes here. This top section is kind of my young adult section. So right here on this shelf, I have all 4 of the Twilight books. I only have the first 4 in the saga, and I only probably intend to read those 4. I may end up reading Midnight Sun though, because my friend has Midnight Sun, and they like speak very highly of it, and they tell me if I ever want, I can borrow it. So it's like, if I ever want, I can just like borrow it for free. Yeah. And then this section is kind of like a gap between bookshelves. Sometimes I stick Funko Pops here, but I just have so many books that I was like, screw it, I'm just gonna put books in here. So the first book I have here is Tolstoy, and it's just like a bunch of like old like classics. So it's got like Aristotle and like let me open it and show you. Yeah, it's got Plato, Aristotle, Homer. Ooh. And then it's got the story of Archimedes, and it's just got like a whole bunch of like classic literature and stuff. I'm taking a class that this is going to be very important for, so I picked this book up for my friend. Okay, let's see if I can get it to fit back on the bookshelf. I did it. Okay, sorry. The next book that follows is The House of My Mother by Shari Frankie. It's like a memoir autobiography. I don't really have any other memoirs or autobiographies, so I don't really know where to put it, so I just put it there. And then followed by this book I hate the author. She's so problematic, so I don't talk about her. So I pressed flowers in this, so the book is completely ruined, but I like to press flowers in here, so I have it in there because that's like it's really like that bookshelf is like jam packed tight, so it keeps the flowers nice and pressed. And then and then it's followed by my not all because there's one missing, but it's followed by my poetry books. I have 3 by Ruby Carr and 2 other just miscellaneous ones. And then yes, into the rest of my young adult novels. So we have Our Vicious Descent, which is the sequel to This Ravenous Fate. I don't. I've read This Ravenous Fate, but I just don't physically own it yet. Um, I'm waiting to be in a better financial state because yeah, I'm still paying off my cat's vet bills. Cause those are hefty, bro. Hefty. I do not like. Make sure you are always watching your cats and like taking care of them. Like I know sometimes like some things are accidents and they just happen out of nowhere, but like, yeah, make sure you're taking good care of your fur babies because no one really wants to spend like they will, but no one to take care of their babies, but no one really wants to spend thousands on animal care. You know? Yeah, we have Our Vicious Descent, and then A Song to Drown Rivers, and then here is my special edition copy of A Treacherous One. So I just have it here, and then I have like the sprayed edges facing out. Bless you, kitty. My cat just sneezed, and now he's gone. Okay. Then we have Wake Me After the Apocalypse, which is like this cool story about this girl like being put into cryo sleep, and when she wakes up, she's like the only one left after a giant apocalypse. And then we have Looking for Alaska by John Green, Wolfwood, Fable for the End of the World. Um, oh, Fable for the End of the World is by Ava Reed, and I want to get more into Ava Reed's books after reading it. Like her writing style is so beautiful. Next, what is this one called? Okay, this one's called Endling. Um, the concept of this book is really interesting. These girls, catfish men, take their money and kidnap them in order to find their missing mother. Cunty. Peak. Um, then Dear Miss Metropolitan, which is about four girls who go missing. Only three are found, and then the town like journalist is like kind of like trying to figure things out. If We Survive This, Sapphic Zombie Apocalypse novel. We love Sapphics. Sunrise on the Reaping. I have a separate shelf with all of my Hunger Games books, but it's a small shelf, so like Sunrise on the Reaping, this is a hardcover, so it doesn't fit on there. So it's been sacrificed to the young adult section. And then Lucas on the Line. Julie Chan is Dead, which isn't necessarily like a young adult book. It's more like an adult mystery thriller, but I didn't really know where else to put it. Same with Miss Metropolitan and Endling. Those are kind of like mystery thriller books. But like again, yes, it's genrefied, but it is genrefied to a point because I only have so many of so many genres. If that makes sense. Yeah. And then Girl in Pieces. Goodness, that book is insane. The Fault in Our Stars, The Secret of the Honey Cake, Rebel Robin, Speak, Burnham Wood, R.F. I was about to call the book R.F. Kwong. No, it's just by R.F. Kwong. I have Yellowface, Allegiant, and then I have all three of the Oathbound books. Let me show you. We're higher now. As you can see, yeah, here's Oathbound, Legend Board, and Bloodmarked. Oh, I don't know if they're in the right order. It's okay. But yeah, now you can see the top shelf. May have to move around, but it's okay. The top shelf is my fantasy shelf. Goodness, you really heard my lisp in that one, didn't you? So the first two books I have here are the first two in the Roots of Chaos series. So I have Pride of the Orange Tree and Day of All Night. Yeah, Among the Burning Flowers is the novella for it, but again, there's not enough like room from here between my ceiling for it to fit. And then I have the Burning Kingdom series. So I have the Jasmine Throne, the Oleander Sword, and the Lotus Empire. A beautiful sapphic fantasy series. Oh. And the main character, one of the main characters has like these powers, and it's my favorite like type of powers. I don't know if it has like a specific like name or word. I think it's like geokinesis or something, but it's like when you get to manipulate the earth and like plant life. Really cool. I find it so interesting. It's like definitely one of my favorite like kinds of like powers. If I was in Camp Half Blood, my cabin would be the Demeter cabin. So I'm so funny, right? And then next year I have the Poppy War series. So I have Poppy War, the Dragon Republic, and the Burning God, and then I also have Babel by R.F. Kuang. Absolute beautiful book, like blew my mind, left me in shock for days. And then here we have On the Woods of Noche. It's I don't know how to properly describe this book, but this girl, she's bi and her girlfriend is dead, but she can like still visit her girlfriend's spirit with her powers. And then she meets a boy and she's like kind of falling for him, but she doesn't want to because she like still misses her dead girlfriend. And then all of a sudden they both go missing and she has to like both her dead girlfriend's spirit and the boy. So she has to like try to like figure out her feelings and try to like find them and like all sorts of crazy stuff. Yeah, interesting. See why I picked it? And then we have Vicious by V.E. Schwab and The Near Witch by V.E. Schwab. I love her writing style and her prose. It's just so beautiful, guys. And then A World Worth Saving, which this book takes place like post-COVID. And just like finding yourself and like having superpowers and like being trans and like all sorts of crazy stuff. And then we have When the Moon Hatched, Cricket Kingdom, and Six of Crows, and then we have Ninth House and Hellbent, all by Lee Vertigo. And then It's Hard to See, but I'll move. It's hard to see, but I have a Shallow Ball, Silver Surfer, Funko Pop there. And then this is also fantasy, but technically it's a kind of a different section. It's my Greek mythology section. So we have Circe by Madeline Miller, the Odyssey and the Iliad, and then I have obviously all 5 of the Percy Jackson and the Olympians books, and then all of the Heroes of Olympus books, and then I have the 2 newest Percy Jackson books, so Chalice of the Gods and Wrath of the Triple Goddess, and then I also have The Sun and the Star, because we love Nico and we love Will and we love our little gay boys. Bring them happiness, and my life is yours. And then at the very end, it's hard to see, but I have an Allison Funko, and it's the Funko of her when she's like holding the knife and coming at Rhaenyra. I may or may not have 3 Allison Funko Pops. Do I have a problem, or do I just think evil mean lesbians are hot? On to the next shelf. Okay, I'm gonna be very brief with this next shelf because I just made a video going through all of the books on here, like individually and talking about them a little bit. But this is my comics and graphic novel shelf. But yeah, if you want to see more about that, check out my other video. Um, yeah, so we have all the Walking Dead comics, Paper Girls, a bunch of Marvel comics, including Moon Knight, Young Avengers, and Eternals, as well as Miss America, Fantastic Four, and Daredevil. And then we also have a DC comic on here. It's Dreamer. If you don't know, she's originally like an original character for the Supergirl show, on CW, but everyone just loved her so much that they like brought her into the comics. And then onto like graphic novels, I have Demon in the Wood by Lee Vertigo, which is like the Darkling's origin story. I have a few of those of the Avatar comics. We have the Korra one, the Turf Wars, the Omnibus, and then a bunch of the solo Avatar comics about the girls and the gang. And then we have my 2 graphic novels by Molly Knox Oystertag, The Deep Dark and Girl Sea, Beautiful Sapphic Stories, and then this one's new. I have the Speak graphic novel. I just showed you I had the book up there. I love Speak. I have a very personal connection to it and to Melinda. I'm a selective mutism girly, so just reading it and her trauma responses, I'm just like, yeah, that's me. That's me. Okay, give me a sec. I have to put this back on the shelf. Okay, sorry. I don't know why I took that out of the shelf. Oh my gosh, I might have to turn the camera like the flash on because it's very dark over here. And then I have a Persephone comic. It's called Persephone Hades Torment. Then I have the Raven Boys graphic novel. A short graphic novel called Everything Is Okay. It's just like full of a bunch of short mini comics about like mental health and like dealing with it and struggling and all sorts of like fun stuff. And then at the end I have a poetry book, my last poetry book, called Brilliance. Okay. And then on the next shelf, I know a little late, but I turned my little lamp on so you can see the books better. um, this next shelf is my Game of Thrones shelf and also my Hunger Games shelf. So I have all 5 of the Game of Thrones books. They came out last year. They're like the new covers and they're really cute and I love the artist. I really love the art style of it. Like, I'll show you. Compared to the originals, which are pretty much just like stock photos on a colored background, yeah, no, way better. And then I also have Fire and Blood, which I haven't read the other Game of Thrones books, but I have read Fire and Blood, and I have a lot of things to say, George. Okay, yeah. And then I have my Rainiscent Funkos, so I have Alicent here from season 2, and then Rhaenyra from season 2. My little cutie pies. And then yeah, I have all of the Hunger Games ones. So I have Songbirds and Snakes, Mockingjay, Catching Fire, Hunger Games. And then I have an additional copy of Songbirds and Snakes, but this one is the one with the movie cover on it, and also because I have all of 4 of like all of my Hunger Games books are fully annotated. Um And my Father's Songbirds and Snakes one, it's honestly my favorite book. The annotation tabs I used, they're not the clear annotation tabs. I use like low-key sticky notes. So it's like every time I want to reread it, I have to take the sticky notes off and read and then put it back on. So it's like I really want to reread this book and I'm lazy and I don't want to just take all the paper sticky notes off. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Yeah, but that's it for this shelf, and then we're on to the bottom shelf, which I'll get through really fast because I also was talking about some of those in a different video. Okay, yes, I am on the floor. Um, so, so as you can see here, I have the rest of some of my Avatar comics. These are the library editions. They just also, it's like the omnibuses, but it also just includes, like text from the authors and the artists and the illustrators, um, like explaining why they made certain choices and why they like made this comic and how the story progresses. I have some art books here, and I have some signs and some magazines up here, and then followed shortly by I have the Avatar novels, which are like physical written novels about the avatars themselves. So there's two about Kyoshi, two about Yang Chen, and then there's one about Roku, but I do not have that one yet. And then over here I have four of the Tolkien books. So I have The Hobbit, Lord of the Rings, The Two Towers, and then Unfinished Tales. And then I also have right here, it didn't fit with the rest of my poetry, but I have a bunch of Emily Dickinson's poems. So yeah. I think it might be all of her poems, I'm not sure. But yeah. So I have one shelf left, and that's the bookshelf beside that also functions as my nightstand. So I'm going to tidy that up and show you what's on there. Okay, we're on to the final shelf. It's just this little section on my nightstand. So on here are pretty much books I haven't read, but I really want to read soonish. So it's like it's essentially my TBR, my desperate TBR. Like the books that I like I should be reading next because I've had them on my shelf for like a year and I haven't read them yet. So first we have One Dark Window, which is like a romantic story with like a really complex fantasy, like with like a really complex magic system. And then She Who Became the Sun, which is like a fantasy sapphic retelling of Mulan. And then Lucha of the Night Forest and Lucha of the Forgotten Spring, which is like just like a young adult fantasy book with a love triangle. And then Girls Like Girls by Hayley Kiyoko. Mainly because I love Hayley Kiyoko and her music, and I want to read her. And she's making books and movies now, so I want to read them. And yeah, this book is supposed to be adapted into a movie, so it's like gotta get prepared, you know. And then I have Vengeful by V. E. Schwab. It's not, I think it's like not like the direct continuation, but it is a continuation to the Vicious series and like universe. And then we have Joy to the Girls. I'll show you, which is just a really cute like 150-page novella about which is also a sequel to She Gets the Girl, which is by Rachel Lippincott and Allison Derrick, who are actually married in real life. And they also have two daughters. Want to live their life because like they've co-written 3 books together now, and then they're each their own like separate published authors who write beautiful sapphic stories. Also, Rachel Lippincott wrote 5 Feet Apart, so you know she can write a good story. And then also right here, I have a Robin Funko, Robin from season 4. And her little work outfit. The glare is horrendous, and she's also in a protective case. But yeah. Okay, I also wanted to show you my like on top of my bookshelf really quick. So here I have annotation tabs, all of my bookmarks and highlighters. I have a candle here, some Lego flowers. Those are some headphones and microphones. This is my cassette player and recorder, which is what the microphones are for. I can record stuff on that. And then I have a bunch of different cassette tapes that I can play on that. And then I have an Astrid Funko, because I freaking love Astrid so much, and I love Nico Parker's Astrid. And then I have another candle. And then I have my custom oil painting that I made myself about my trauma! Alrighty, so that's it for my 2025 bookshelf tour. Yeah, I have way too many books. Before I got a bunch of new ones, I had over 150. So I don't even want to count. There's too many on the shelf. But there's a lot of books on my shelf. And those are all of them. I hope this video isn't too long, and I hope you guys liked it. And I hope you're looking forward to the next day of Bookmas, which will hopefully be a bit better. But yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. Have a great day.